All righty. All right.
Okay, are we ready to go?
We are ready to go.
Okay, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this public hearing before the Akron City Board of Zoning Appeals will come to order. The order of procedure here today will be as follows. The Department of Planning and Urban Development will present each of the appeals or applications on the agenda. I will hear from the proponents and I will hear from the opponents. The board members will then consider their decision on each matter. Our decision may be for approval, disapproval, or time for additional study. Anyone wishing to speak on a specific item under consideration will be recognized and identify himself or herself by name and address. I also would like to announce to those in attendance today that if they do intend to speak or offer any comment or opinion pertaining to any items in this program, you will need to be sworn in for your testimony, and Mr. York is here to do that, I believe.
Yes. Mr. Antonucci, could you raise your right hand? We'll take care of you first. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Seeing and hearing no one else, we will move the approval of minutes to the end of the agenda and go right into appeal number 2A, appeal number 08-2020Z, appeal of Dan Yovanovich to construct an addition to a legal non-conforming use at 870 Brown Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members.
Mike, let me stop you for just a minute.
Sure.
Before you start, why don't we give Alyssa a chance to get the participants into the room so they can hear it as well. And if you'd like, Mr. Chairman, I could swear the witnesses right now so I don't have to interrupt again.
I'm on mute. Do you want me to read the introductory statement again then?
No, you don't. You won't
Good.
need to read that.
Okay. Okay. We just need to just let those that have just come on that they need to be sworn in because you're giving public testimony, and Mr. York will do that for you right now.
Who do we have for the petitioner?
Looks like, is that Mr. Yovanovich? Okay, and Karen Moss, I believe.
Yes,
Okay,
Ms. Moss, you're the attorney for Mr. Yovanovich?
that is correct.
Okay, I just need to swear Mr. Yovanovich. I've already sworn Mr. Antonucci. Mr. Yovanovich, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
okay, great, thank you. And we are looking at appeal number 08-2020Z, appeal of Dan Yovanovich to construct an addition to the legal non-conforming use at 870 Brown Street.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. Dan Yovanovich is the appellant requesting to construct an addition to within 10 feet of the Baird Street right-of-way and to the west side of the current structure on the property. The new construction would be the entire width of the structure and would extend approximately 15 feet to within 15 feet of the west property line and maintaining the approximate 10-foot setback from the Baird Street right-of-way. The total area of the addition would be roughly 980 square feet. The appellant states the addition would be utilized for secure storage of vehicles waiting to be serviced. A single overhead door on the south side of the structure would open to Baird Street. The addition would allow the appellant to secure vehicles waiting to be serviced, as well as provide additional interior space to store supplies for the shop. There would be no increase in the number of service bays. Proposed interior storage addition will improve the functionality and security of this business and should not have a negative impact on the surrounding uses. And planning staff recommends approval subject to conditions. Thank you.
Let's see, do we have anyone to speak in favor of this? Mr.
We would. So we obviously Dan can speak to the need for this extension to, secure the vehicles. They talked about putting in a fence, those sorts of things. But history has told them and other building owners in the area that it's insufficient to help protect the vehicles that are there because the fence can be broken through more easily than somebody, getting in through a door or garage door of the building. So that's why we've moved to this option. One of the things we did want to bring up in the recommendation, number 3, there is a request that the construction material of the exterior walls of the structure shall be brick or decorative block and subject to approval of the Department of Planning and Urban Development. We obviously have no concern about the Department of Planning and Urban Development getting approval, but we do have some concern with the structure having to be brick or decorative block, simply for the fact that we have to stay under a cost threshold based on the appraised value of the building. And the building right now is assessed for county auditor records at $31,130. So to put decorative block along this whole section would basically push us out of that 10% limit that we can spend. So Dan had a couple of ideas on other materials. So I guess we just wanted to talk that through a little bit today. And he was going to give us an idea of something that they've been working on and something they've talked to some different builders about. So Jen, you could go ahead and describe.
Thank you very much for seeing me today. We had checked a few different builders. The original steel building that we had looked at, I don't know if you're familiar with like the Dollar Generals in the local area. They have like a brick facade outside. It looks like brick. Those are actually sheets. They're like 10 by 4 sheets of, it's, I almost want to say drywall, but it's meant to be weathered and outside, and it looks just like brick. We had talked to one of the steel building places we had checked into, and they have it can look just like the current brick that is there. It's like a stamp, but to the layperson, you'd be able to tell no difference, whether it's, brick or not brick. It would match in color, size, roof. It would look actually like one building.
Yeah, and that would also keep them under the threshold that's necessary for this this structure.
If the threshold, were higher, we have no problem, putting in brick and doing it that way, but we have to stay beneath that threshold. This is one of the ways that we could do it.
And that's all we have right now, unless there's more questions for us.
All right. Is there anyone else? I don't see anyone else to speak in favor. Is there anyone to speak in opposition? I know we received a letter from the owner at 866 Brown Street. Was emailed to us requesting that a wood privacy fence be installed on the north side of the building by his driveway. I don't know. I don't see any privacy fence or in the requirements. Is there one at all, Mr. Antonucci?
What we do have there is that, any exterior storage of supplies would be screened with solid fencing. So that is a code requirement. And that would be more, toward the back there where the vehicles are being stored. Now, since he's building this building, those vehicles will be inside and there's going to be less of an intrusion on that neighbor. So I would say that, yes, if there's any exterior storage, that would need to be screened, and that's actually a code requirement. So if he intends to, Mr. Yovanovich intends to put equipment into the back onto the west side of the building, then that would need to be screened.
Okay.
As would any storage in the front as well.
Okay. Mr. Antonucci, would you like to talk about what their suggestion and their alternate to item number 3? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think sometimes we have standard conditions that end up in these in these write-ups. I think that was basically just like a standard that we threw in there. We're open to building materials for something like this in the back of the building that would just, as long as it matches the building, we're going to be okay with that. We will just, we'll want to take a look at your elevations and we'll run it through and just kind of take a look at it. And we'll work with Mr. Jovanovic on that design. But no, we're not expecting face brick and essentially a decorative block over the entire structure. So
Do we need to amend this in our either approval or whatever?
we could do that. It's probably a good idea. That would clean it up. I would just say exterior buildings are subject to approval of the Department of Planning and Urban Development, and maybe take out the brick and split face block requirement. If the board's
Okay,
okay with that.
okay. Open it up to board members. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I have a question. My office is nearby at 587 Barrett Street, and I drive that route quite often. Do you believe that we have a clutter situation there? Do you believe this building going in that clutter that we have at 10, between 10 and 2 o'clock, is multiple cars on both sides of the street parked there?
Yes, I believe it'll assist in helping us with that.
Because I have stopped and talked to employees that work there, and they told me that them was cars that they were servicing, that they was
Okay.
hoping to get into service.
Okay. A lot of times they do temporarily park there. We seem to have like a hot spot during the day. It's usually between 10 and 2, where there's quite a bit of traffic that comes in for any kind of diagnostic testing. We have a lot of oil changes. We do a lot of suspension work. It's for whatever reason, between 10 and 2, that seems to be when we really get overwhelmed with customers. Generally, we can work through that rapidly, really quick. It's not most of the jobs that a car would have to sit for a length of time, either go in the back or in one of our open bays. The ones that are on the street right there, we try real rapidly to get through those.
Okay.
It usually takes us about, I would say 10 to 2 during that period. That's it. When it's our hot spot, they come in, we're able to, right around 2:30, it starts clearing up.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a question. My impression of what is written here, it's to increase security and eliminate maybe some of that congestion. Is that correct? It's not to increase the volume of vehicles taken in for service?
No, it's not.
Yeah, he'll have the same number of service bays, so he's not increasing that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? I was actually thinking this was a different Brown Street. I was thinking it was Brown Street Autocraft, which is down
We
the
get that all
road
the
from
time.
you.
All the time.
I'm going to say you don't look like Bob, and if it was, I was going to have to abstain on this because I know Bob down there that does auto repair. You're doing, he did
We're
body
gonna start
work.
charging him for calls because we get a lot of his phone calls.
Yeah, well, when you said you were doing oil changes, I knew Bob didn't do that. I'm thinking, wait a minute, I was getting worried that Bob might have just thrown in the towel. So, okay, I thought I had to Google it to see where it was because it's right down the road from you, I believe, the other side of the street.
Yeah, literally, I can see it from the front door. Yep.
Yeah. Any other questions? So in order to have a motion do we have a motion to approve or do we have a motion at all?
I'll have a motion to approve with the listed conditions, except for a modification to condition number 3 to eliminate the specific wording about brick and decorative block.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a second. So we have a motion for approval and a second. Any other discussion? Okay,
Do a roll here. Ms. Avalos,
Yes.
Ms. Johansson,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Eberhard,
Yes.
Mr. Bolden.
Yes. Okay, the appeal's been granted. Good luck. Sure it'll get some cars off the street for you and help out in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And do we wait until we bring somebody else on for the next one to read the,
He's coming in now.
okay. And then I'll start with the introductory statement.
He's connecting to audio right now.
Yeah, okay. Okay, looks like we're there, right?
I don't see anybody that joined.
I see Mr. Harner, are you there?
I don't think he is yet.
I see him. Okay, great. All right, I guess we can get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, this public hearing before the Akron City Board of Zoning Appeals will come to order. The order of procedure here today will be, number one, the Department of Planning and Urban Development will present each of the appeals or applications on the agenda. I will hear from the proponents. I will hear from the opponents. The board members will then consider their decision on each matter. Our decision may be for approval, disapproval, or time for additional study. Anyone wishing to speak on a specific item under consideration will be recognized and identify himself or herself by name and address. Also, I'd like to announce that to those in attendance today that if you do intend to speak or offer any comment or opinion pertaining to any items in this program, you will need to be sworn in, and Mr. York can do that at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Harner, do you have video capabilities as well?
I've got my iPhone in front of me now. If you could walk me through that, I can do that.
I think down in the bottom, if you touch the screen, you might see a video icon. It'll say something like.
On my iPhone, I've got the mute, keypad, audio, add call, FaceTime, and contacts. Am I in the wrong screen on my, I'm looking at you guys on my computer should I be doing this on my phone? I'm doing my phone
I'm
for
not sure.
audio.
Alyssa, maybe you could help us with that.
On computer, at bottom left, if you scroll your mouse over there, you should be able to see a video, a microphone, and a camera.
Yes,
And you want to, if you're on your phone for audio, that's fine, but click on the video to start video. And that will open up if you have a camera on your computer.
I do not have one on my computer.
Okay.
So we can either wait and you would need to click on the invitation link through an email on your phone so that you can use your phone's camera, or we can continue. That's up to John.
Do you have a preference, Mr. Chairman? I don't think in this instance, there's a large probability that Mr. Harner is not who he says he is. I mean, and this is a non-contested matter, so I don't.
Right.
expect-
I'm okay. I'm okay with it. If
Okay. Mr. Harner?
Yes,
Okay, we're going to proceed without being able to see you, but I do need to swear you in. So if you would, please raise your right hand. And do you swear or
Okay.
affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and I've already sworn in Mr. Antonucci. So you can go ahead and proceed now, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. York. We're looking at appeal number 09-2020Z, appeal of David Harner, radial grinding to construct an addition to a non-conforming machine shop at 585 Maslin Road.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman, board members. David Harner is proposing to construct an addition onto their existing building. The addition would measure approximately 57 feet by 99 feet, containing 4,078 square feet, and be sited along the northern elevation of the building. The addition would not extend beyond the existing western elevation and will be constructed of masonry block to match the existing. Planning staff is of the opinion that the new addition will not have detrimental effect upon the neighboring residential area. In 2017, the Board of Zoning Appeals approved a smaller addition at the northwest corner of the building that measured roughly 57 feet by 61 feet, although it was never constructed. The new proposed addition will include that original space plus a smaller 37 feet by 25 feet section onto the east. The entire addition will be roughly 25 feet 5 inches from the northern property line. Radial Grinding has previously received permission to build additions in 1997 and in 2012 and the addition in 2017. And planning staff recommends approval.
Okay, Mr. Harner's here. Would you like anyone to speak in favor of this? Mr. Harner?
I don't know if there's any questions. Do you want me to give a little background?
That would be great if you could.
Yeah, so we've been, the company was founded back in 1979. I purchased it in December of 1990. I'm the 100% owner. We have 25 full-time employees now that are very skilled, and we have about 450 customers, all the way up from Boeing, Airbus, Meggitt, Lockheed, all the way down to guys that have milling machines and Bridgeports and lathes in their basements. So we're looking to grow with our customers and to kind of widen our reach of the different customers that we service.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I'll have to ask, is there anyone to speak in opposition to this? Okay. From what I gathered, Mr. Antonucci, this was approved, or is this a bigger addition or the same addition that never got built?
Yeah, this addition was approved back in 2017. And basically it never was built. This is a little bit bigger in that it wraps around a smaller addition on the back. So it's a little bit bigger than what was originally approved. Yeah, that's the request today.
This is kind of like right around the corner from Strickland's, right?
Yes, if I look on my front.
I've seen it. That's why,
yeah.
when I'm at Strickland's, I know that way.
Right. So if I look
That's
out
how
my
I
front,
knew where it was. So, does anyone from the board have comments or questions? Ms. Connor, any questions, concerns?
No questions. I'm always pleased to have business growth in Ward 10. It's always fun to meet the new business owners and learn a little bit more as I go along. Thank you.
Great. Glad to have you here, by the way. So,
Thank you.
so any questions, concerns? Not hearing any, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, second. Any further discussion? Okay,
Okay, Ms. Avalos,
Yes.
Ms. Johansson,
Yes.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
Ms. Eberhard,
Yes.
Mr. Bolden.
yes. Mr. Harner's been approved. Good luck with your addition, and thanks for keeping your business in Akron. We appreciate that. So,
okay, thank you. Thank everyone very much.
sure. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Okay, we have minutes to discuss, correct?
Mhm.
And these are from, or do we have an appeal? These are the minutes. Okay, from June 24th. They looked good to me. I don't see anything, but does anyone else? They look good to everybody else?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That is, I believe, all we have in front of us, correct?
Yeah.
That's correct.
All right. Anything else to come before the board? Okay, do I have a motion to approve? To
adjourn?
end the meeting, I should say. To adjourn, that's it.
You have my motion.
Okay.
Second
Do we have a
it.
second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. It's adjourned. Thank you very much. Good seeing everybody.